Hey everybody, welcome on back. It's the Rubbin is Racing podcast with Spider, Large, Quigs, and Moonhead. We have a full boat, and then we have Jacob behind the curtain pulling the levers. I think we have Nick Hamilton helping out because
Right.
Spider
Nick.
is at Nick Hamilton, sneaky best hair at Barstool for a dude, right?
Oh, he's handsome for sure.
Yeah, it's one of those. I didn't say that.
Other than
best
me.
hair, I think. Yeah, it's one of those things. But Spider's up at Camp Barstool doing silly shit that people like to tune into for some reason, and so he was able to get a cabin. So we're in the podcast cabin for Camp Barstool. We're at a secret location for Moonhead. Quigs is at home, and I'm in New York City covered with rats and homeless people. Welcome back to Rubbin is Racing. This episode is brought to you by Body Armor Flash IV. Flash IV delivers faster, longer-lasting hydration with over 2,000 milligrams of electrolytes and no artificial dyes, flavors, or sweeteners like other drinks. So whether you're training, traveling, just feeling the heat, or doing the best NASCAR podcast in the fucking world, work hard. I might have to cut that. So whether you are training, traveling, or just feeling the heat, work hard and drink this stuff. Flash IV Zero, the lemon lime, which is my favorite. Hydrate Hard with Body Armor Flash IV and grab yours today at your local 7-Eleven convenience store. Thank you so much, Body Armor, for your continued support. You had Spider all weekend at Richmond, which looked like a hell of a time. Let's get into the episode right now, because we have another sponsor I have to talk about, and that's Blue Chew. Blue Chew is the gummy. Guys, enter the room dick first. Blue Chew isn't just a tablet. It's a cheat code for your crotch. Stronger, harder, longer lasting, like someone gave you downstairs a pep talk and a gym membership. Blue Chew is the original brand offering chewable tablets for better sex. This ain't a supplement. It's an erection resurrection. Guys, this isn't just about performance. This is about legacy or third legacy. Give her group chat something to talk about. You know, when you lay it down, they're talking about how you get it up. Nothing makes you more of a legend than a little Blue Chew. Discover your options at BlueChew.com, and we've got a special deal for our listeners. As always, get your first month of Blue Chew free. Just use promo code Rubbin at checkout and pay $5 for shipping. That's it. Join Blue Chew's mission to upgrade humanity one thrust at a time. Head to BlueChew.com for details and safety info, and big thanks to Blue Chew for sponsoring the podcast. How's everybody doing this week? We had a hell of a race weekend, finally. How's everybody doing?
Fantastic. I feel like I'm at Corey LaJoie's kickball classic here this week. We're playing all these like outdoor field games. Softball was fun yesterday here from Camp Barstool. I'm currently coming to you live from the birthplace of Xfinity driver Parker Retzlaff in Rhinelander, Wisconsin. But yeah, just a couple great weeks, Large. Just was at Richmond this past weekend with the Body Armor clients, myself and Liam Blutman. We had a great time, and the Body Armor folks were so hospitable. We spent the whole race watching from their pit box, and I intentionally left them off my card, Large, because if you remember, where were we at? Atlanta?
That's when I guaranteed a win?
Yep.
Yeah, I did that, didn't I?
Yeah, so I was like super reluctant to have any money on him, put him on a card, say he was going to win anything. And then, you know, I was sitting on the pit box, and I was like, damn, he might actually do this. He might actually do this. It would have been awesome to see. I was going to run down to the victory lane and just dunk him with a water bottle, Body Armor. But no, great race. Richmond, I thought is a fun, exciting race, and credit to Austin Dillon. He did it. No asterisk mark this year. So kind of tip my cap to him. RCR seemingly is really good at this track based on the last couple races we've seen here. So I thought it was awesome. And thank you to Body Armor.
Anybody else have Austin Dillon top 5 but me? What's up? No big deal. Seemed hot as balls, Spider. Was it hot as hell on that track? Because we've only been there one other time, or at least I've only been there one other time with you, and it was also a miraculously hot day that day as well. Very, very hot, right?
Extremely hot. I will say the fact that it was a night race definitely helped.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was a nice touch. I think that was cool to see. And during the actual race, it was relatively cool. But yeah, getting there early, like during the day, was certainly very hot. But I think that's just Richmond this time of year.
Trucks. There was no Xfinity this week. They return next week. But we did have trucks this week. Corey Heim wins, 7th victory of the season. His first at a short track, which is cool. With the victory, he becomes the youngest driver in series history to go to 18 career wins, breaking Kyle Busch's record. That's a pretty good one to break. Oh, and our guy, Patrick Staropoli.
Yep.
That dude who's like the eye doctor, he was just outside the top 20, finished P23. was kind of watching out for him. It was just easy to root for. It was actually Ty Majeski's race to lose, but he got collected in a wreck caused by his teammate, Matt Crafton. The reason I bring that up is that Matt Crafton, the 3-time Truck Series champion, announced this week he'll retire from full-time racing. He's the only driver to win consecutive titles in the Truck Series in their 30-year history. Ty Majeski, who we just mentioned, the defending series champion and Crafton's teammate at ThorSport, will jump from the 98 and take over the 88 in the 2026 season. I've heard this retirement called well-deserved but long overdue. As much as I'm looking at Matt Crafton and knowing that he's a familiar face since we started covering the sport, but we covered the sport way after he had his heyday. So I'm going to ask you, Moonhead, if that's okay. Matt Crafton, what's your take on this guy as he is leaving the sport? I see he's been there for a very long time. He's won, a fair number of races and 3 championships, but people are saying that he's not like even a shoo-in to go to the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I mean, I think he'll make the Hall of Fame because he's been a part of the Truck Series so long and has contributed a lot to it. But at the same time, the guy, he probably could have hung it up 10 years ago and been looked at a little bit better, because he has 3 championships, but aside from that, he's had a lot of really, really bad years. He's made a lot of questionable moves at times. But overall, you can't argue with 3 championships and probably 15 or so wins. I don't know the number right off the top of my head, but that said, there are people like Corey Heim. I don't know, I don't have his stat sheet in front of me, but there have been people in a couple of seasons of trucks kind of rack up the same stat sheets. So I think he'll be in the Hall of Fame, like I said, for his contributions to the Truck Series. He's been there almost since the start, but I don't really think he needs to be on the NASCAR Mount Rushmore or anything either.
I mean, it's probably most drivers' goals is to not have a lot of Truck Series stats.
Yeah,
you want to get out of there and go to the next one. Like, you don't. Yeah. If you win a Truck Series championship, you're probably like, do I got to ride in the Xfinity Series, in the Cup Series?
I will say he does come from an era,
and I respect it. Like a journeyman, that's great.
In the early days of the Truck Series, I will say a lot of guys, it was used just as much as it was for like development with young guys as it was for maybe guys who didn't have success in the higher ranks. So at the time, Crafton was a young guy coming in, and I don't think he really ever got the nod to move up because he didn't run that great for years and years and years. But back in his day, there were also guys like Todd Bodine, Ron Hornaday, Mike Skinner, who didn't have the success in the top series, but came down there and kicked ass in trucks. So I think maybe that played a role in him sticking around so long. But yeah, I don't know. He'll be in the Hall of Fame eventually. That's the thing with the NASCAR Hall of Fame, though. This is a whole nother debate. We're gonna run out of motherfuckers eventually. Yeah, and like we're gonna start putting the most random people ever. So
yeah. Rock and Roll Hall of Fame too. Yeah. I went to that thing in Cleveland once, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, that fucking guy is it? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're gonna put wings on this fucking thing just to fit everybody. NASCAR Hall of Fame, and we've mentioned this numerous times in the show. It's worthwhile. It's one of those worthwhile places to go to. I think it's very cool. It's not necessarily one of my favorite museums. That's the World War II Museum down in New Orleans. Best fucking museum in the United States. But the Hall of Fame is very, very cool to go to. But it is jam-packed. It's fucking jam-packed with names. Hopefully Matt Crafton gets his name. I just don't see many people wearing Matt Crafton shirts. Like that type of thing. I know it's an ignorant way to kind of judge somebody's popularity in the present day. Either way, he's stepping away. He's going to spend some more time with his 25-year-old girlfriend, and more power to him. Once I get one of those, I'm going to step away from my marriage, to be quite honest with you. So good luck to Matt Crafton. Almost a universally loved race this weekend on the Cup side. We don't see much of those. Even in the Gluck poll, I think it had gotten maybe somewhere near the mid-80s. I don't remember. It was maybe like an 84 or something. Richmond, but it didn't get a ton of viewers because people, I guess they just like Sundays better than Saturdays. Richmond viewership on Saturday night was down 37% from last year's Richmond race, which was on a Sunday night. So they went from 2.2 million last year to 1.39 million this year. That's not good. And I know there's some sort of other factors that contribute to that. But when we see that the new schedule is put out, it's put out right after this had happened. I don't know if if NASCAR is one of those things where they're like, we don't want to do any more Saturday night races. Kudos to Goodyear, because everyone has given them a lot of kudos for the tire fall off. So maybe those are the guys that are saving NASCAR right now. Not so much kudos to Kyle Busch. Seems like he lost his fucking mind halfway through the race. Are we at an inflection point where people are going to start saying, hey, should Kyle Busch hang it up? I'm not saying that at all, because we're still blaming the RCR equipment. We're still blaming this. We're still blaming that. It says bad luck gets thrown out. At what point do we say, I don't know, maybe we should step away?
This weekend definitely moved the needle for me in that direction. Nothing against Austin Dillon. I'm not trying to discredit him. In fact, I think it's the opposite. Everyone was questioning the legitimacy of his win last year, and what does he do this year in the same race? He comes out and wins it. So my point is that RCR does have capable race-winning capable cars, and for the winner to be Austin instead of Kyle was definitely surprising to me. If you asked me which RCR car would win first, I would have guessed Kyle Busch. So I don't know. Part of me feels like maybe he definitely is kind of regressing a little bit, and that kills me to say as a Kyle Busch fan. So, but I definitely think that this weekend was a little bit like,
I think it is going to turn the tide with people like who are on the fence.
I'm not saying he should hang it up and retire immediately, but the conversation definitely becomes more worth entertaining after this weekend, in my opinion. And that may be a reach. I don't know. Am I being too hard on him?
No, I don't think so at all. I'm just kind of throwing glancing blows. Go ahead, Quick. Sorry.
He's still a great driver in the field, and we're judging him on like Kyle Busch standards rather than just like a guy that deserves to be in the series, and like he'll be that caliber for a long time, but he just needs a win. I think. I mean, I've been saying it, like this has been a long time where like he just needs a win to get his mental right, and he has not got that win. But no, I mean the Cup Series is better with Kyle Busch than without it, and I'd like to see him go for a few more years for sure.
How do you think he feels, though? Do you think he's going home at night and being like, I don't know if I got it anymore?
It's kind of sad. Like it's because they're like last year was like an anger to everything and a frustration, and now it's like that isn't as strong anymore, which is almost a bad thing. Of like,
well, I thought
he's getting used to this.
I thought he was racing like too emotionally last year, and then he seemingly kind of cooled off, as Quiggs alluded to. But then watching this Sunday and like that clip back, it seemed like he just kind of like fucking rage quit the race.
Yeah.
Like he lost his cool and just like fucking got frustrated.
Back on that,
which I don't blame him. I mean, I'm the same kind of guy. When things aren't going my way, sometimes I just get
I've seen it.
up. Yeah,
I've been on the receiving end for some fucking reason and that shit.
Exactly.
Moon, are you leading the charge to have Kyle Busch retire tomorrow?
No, I want to see him win again. And I think to Quiggs' point, his season, yes, by Kyle Busch standards, it's been a rough couple of years. But when you look at just straight up driver's points and take the playoff picture out of it, he's still in the top half of the field. So he's not running terrible every week. And there's been a lot of stupid shit happen. Half of his bad finishes this year, I think, could be chalked up to stupid shit, whether it was getting in a wreck or mechanical problems, pit road problems, something like that. So I don't think it's all doom and gloom, but losing to Austin Dillon or getting outran by Austin Dillon as your teammate is probably not the best look for him.
All right, so we'll keep him on double secret probation until he proves to us that he needs to retire. People talk about me having to retire all the time, so I don't mind saying this out loud. Bubba Wallace is coming up on the show in just a little bit. He happens to be in New York City this week. I don't even know why, so we'll get to the bottom of why he's in New York City. So he's going to be live in this office. We'll get to that in a little bit. He had a pretty good day until he didn't. He led 123 laps before his fucking tire fell off. He was forced to use Briscoe's pit box for repairs. I got to ask him, when he gets here, does he throw Briscoe a couple of bucks afterwards? Because Briscoe's team was like very responsive, got the tire that had fallen off to put it back on, because if you replace it with another tire, that's like even more trouble that you kind of get into. They did the right thing by him 100%. I love seeing it, but I'm wondering what you do. We're so used to people getting out of the car and saying, fuck you, why did you hook me? I wonder if he jumps out of the car, goes over to Briscoe's box and is like, guys, thanks so much, I needed that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think you take him out for dinner or something like that. I don't really know. Can someone jog my memory? This happened previously. Recently.
Yeah, Chris Bell, I think was it Chris Bell in Briscoe's box too? I think Briscoe's box has been used like a $2 whore. Like anyone just kind of walks into it whenever the fuck they want.
I think
that's cool.
It just needed the lug tighten though.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
They didn't have to. The wheel didn't fully fall off.
For some reason, I thought it was like two non-aligned team, maybe even two different manufacturers in the first instance of this happening. But either way, I still really never know what to make of this. A lot of times, I'm surprised that they're helping them. But then again, I'm of the opinion if they are going to help, if I'm a driver and they save my day, well, I shouldn't even say that. Bubba was in contention to win the race. I feel like it's just a shitty situation. But I do think you have to, show your love for the guys that helped you in some capacity. I don't know. This doesn't really happen that often.
Doesn't happen in any sport.
Yeah.
Like if a boxer accidentally goes and sits down in the wrong corner, the cut man kicks you off the fucking stool.
Right.
And there's no one for one.
Exactly.
So maybe there's a reciprocity built in that if Briscoe ever needs it, he can go into our pit box. Like, you know what I mean? There's one of those things where I think NASCAR is kinder and gentler, or friendlier at least, as far as these guys not being against each other. And like I said, watching the replay, Briscoe's guys weren't slow playing it either. Yeah, I'll get to it. You know what I mean? Like kind of slowing down. They did a very efficient job getting Bubba on his way. So I'm going to ask him about it in a couple of minutes. But the whole day was Austin Dillon picks up his 6th career victory, including 2 majors to go alongside his Xfinity and truck championships. So Austin Dillon ran a great race, deserved to win. I don't know if redemption is the right word, but I really don't give a fuck about it. How about redemption is if he wins back-to-back and wins in Daytona?
I could see that too. RCR, I feel like, is always hooked up.
Yeah.
Those tracks. And if you asked me before the season started, you said to me, Austin Dillon wins a race this year. Where is it? As well and fast as he was at Richmond last year with all the drama associated, yeah. I probably would have guessed it would have been at a plate track like Daytona, Talladega, something like that. So,
by the way, Austin Hill's in the field for the Cup race, and there's only 2 drivers that are safe through Austin Hill, and that's his fucking teammates. So I don't know if that ups his chances. So I don't know. That's where I think the redemption goes. And what I wanted to ask you guys is that there have been maybe 5, I say 5, out of the ordinary wins. Not necessarily huge upsets like Harrison last year or something, but there was out of the ordinary wins. Where do you rank this one as far as being the most surprising? You had, Josh Berry at Vegas. You had Austin at Richmond, Briscoe at Pocono, Bubba at the Brickyard, and even I'll throw in Austin Cindric at Talladega. What was the most surprising out of that group? Berry, Dillon, Briscoe, Bubba, and Cindric. What was the most surprising win for you guys? I don't think it was Austin Dillon, right?
I would say I was going to say Austin Dillon or Bubba.
Was it? Okay.
And the third one would be Josh Berry, but I mean, now I'm just ranking them in order. The other 2, I don't think so. I mean, Austin Cindric at plate tracks has proven himself. Chase Briscoe, I expected to get, some good experience and competitive races in his first year with Joe Gibbs. So those 2 don't surprise me as much. But yeah, I think this season has had its share of excitement and dramatic long shot winners as well. Not to discredit, obviously, any of the guys that won, but it's made for some of the most exciting finishes we've seen.
I agree with you with Cindric and Briscoe not even being on this list.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you, Quiggs and Moonhead. A Spider just made it a lot easier. Berry, Austin Dillon, or Bubba? What's the most surprising win?
For me, it's between Berry and Austin Dillon. Just because all those guys that you listed, I would have guessed they'd get a win in the season, and they're all guys that you can't really pick that spot. They're just going to kind of find a winner. So I would not have had a win for Austin Dillon going into the season. And I think I would have for Berry. So I'm going to stick with Austin Dillon as being what surprised me the most.
That's a good way to think of it too. If I said over under a half a win this season, you would have took the over on Cindric. You probably would have took the over on Briscoe. I don't know if you would have took the over on Austin Dillon, but you might have took it on Berry, right?
Yeah. And Bubba, I would have taken the over.
You would have taken the over on Bubba.
I think Bubba's pretty good at Indy, so for that reason, I think Quiggs might be onto something there.
All right, rank the 3, Moonhead. AD, Berry, and Bubba.
Austin Dillon for sure is P1, just because with everything that went on last year, even with the off the track stuff, I figured no way they come back and do it again. Berry was surprising to me because of where it was at. I would have thought he'd have got one on the short track or a super speedway before he got one in almost, what was seemingly dominating fashion at Vegas. And then from there, I'd say Bubba's probably P3. Once again, not shocked that he got a win, but I am kind of shocked it came at the Brickyard. Not to say he's bad there, but there's just a lot of people who are a lot stronger there. Briscoe at Pocono. Briscoe always finds a way to win somewhere. And then Cindric at Dega, that doesn't really surprise me at all, just because nothing really surprises me at super speedways.
Right. That makes sense. All right, so I was the only one that had Austin not being the most surprising. I don't mind being on that side. Give out some flowers. Penske placed all 3 drivers in the top 5, and then Berry placed P8. And specifically P3 Ryan Blaney, who now carries 5 consecutive top 10s with him into Daytona, where he won the regular season finale back in 2021. So a little bit of juice back in the Penske boys. SVG, this is fucking scary. P14 at Richmond. It matches his best result on a fucking oval. That, you know, he had that at the Coke 600 in May at Charlotte. Richmond has a lot of similarities with like Gateway and New Hampshire. This son of a bitch can make a run here in the playoffs, man.
Let's go.
SVG's the fucking man. If SVG can muster top 15s at these ovals and then dominate the fucking Roval, he has a legitimate shot to make it a pretty deep run. That's going to break my heart. This guy is fucking awesome. I don't know. I'm going to ask Bubba today. Actually, we're taping this on Wednesday. We're going to speak to Bubba tomorrow. So we don't know how the interview had gone. Who's the scariest driver at any track? And I'm wondering if he's just going to automatically say SVG. Like, you know, it used to be, oh, I don't want to be with Denny at Pocono or Kyle Larson in Miami or something like that. You know what I mean? I wonder now if it's just universally every fucking driver's like, you kidding me? SVG anywhere where you have to make a right turn. It's got to be him now. Fucking asshole. No flowers for Chase Elliott. He suffered his first, did not finish the season, and gave up the regular season point title to Byron mathematically. So William Byron, regular season points winner. That sucks. We don't have to watch the last race. So congratulations to William Byron. That's fantastic. Let's go to some headlines, rumors, thoughts. WWE Hall of Fame wrestler Rey Mysterio will give the command to start the engines at the Cup race Saturday night at Daytona. Fucking Booyaka 619. I used to watch this fucking guy all the time. We got to meet him. Yeah, Rey Mysterio. That's a fucking cool guy to be doing this, isn't it?
He was like my favorite. I never really got super into WWE or wrestling, but growing up, he was always my favorite guy.
Yeah, before he became Rey Mysterio, when he first started wrestling, because he was so small and quick, I believe his nickname was the Hummingbird. Whatever Hummingbird is in Spanish. It's a cool fucking name.
Pretty cool.
Yeah, a little pansy-ish, but now he's Rey Mysterio. Fuck, I love that guy. He's my age.
I love Rey Mysterio. Hate his son.
Okay, yeah, there it is. I hope he doesn't fucking bring him.
The Liv Morgan stuff.
Oh, that's right.
He's encroaching on your girl.
They're like fake dating for the sake of WWE. So.
Yeah. Fuck that guy.
Yeah,
I'm looking forward to seeing Rey Mysterio. Yeah, and he's got to do it like the mask with the fucking contacts in and shit.
He should have a mask on. He's kind of a fucking creature.
Yeah. Gretchen Wilson, I think, is doing the concert. That doesn't mean anything to me. NASCAR and O'Reilly Auto Parts announced a multi-year partnership, one that will make O'Reilly the leader in automotive replacement parts, the title sponsor of what's now the Xfinity Series. So the Busch Series is now the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series, a series officially as of Jan 1, 2026. How's that roll off the tongue for you guys? I mean, I know a lot of people were like reluctant to use the Xfinity name. Are we back with O'Reilly, or where do you rank this? Is it clunky? Is it cool? Does it make more sense? Like, what do we got?
Well, first off, I'm happy they have sponsorship. You know, it's great to see big-time sponsors remain in the sport. I was concerned with the departure of Xfinity. We've seen the Truck Series get sponsors, turning over recently. So I think it's great that they have one. It's going to be an acquired taste for me to say the O'Reilly Series, or I don't even know. Is that what we're calling it? The O'Reilly
I believe it's going to be the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series. One of the podcasts was like, the OAP, the OPS. Well, that's awful. That's fucking awful.
Yeah. I'm sure it will feel natural at some point, but right now it's going to take some adjusting.
What do you guys think then? As soon as so Xfinity's been killing it. And I think one of the reasons they've been killing it is, unlike NASCAR, where you're like, oh, I just want to listen to races by Lee Diffie. Oh, I just like that Amazon package. Oh, I just like the Fox broadcast or something like that. Xfinity has been so fucking consistent on the CW, just raking in over 1 million viewers. I think at like 20 of the weeks so far. They really have been doing pretty well on TV. And then NASCAR announces that it's switching to O'Reilly. And in the same breath, they mentioned that they're proposing to raise the limit on the number of races Cup drivers are allowed to participate in both the O'Reilly Series and the Truck Series. The current limit is 5. You can do 5 Xfinity and 5 Cup Truck Series races. Only 2 drivers reached that threshold this season. Kyle Busch ran 5 truck races, didn't run any in Xfinity, and then Ross Chastain ran 5 Xfinity races. I think he also ran a couple in the trucks. So if they propose that NASCAR Cup drivers can do as many fucking races as they want, or if they raise the limit from doing 5 to 10, do you think that's better or worse for this new O'Reilly named series? Because there's the argument that it brings eyes in. People who can't afford to watch the races on Sunday, because it is an expensive proposition sometime, still get to see their Cup heroes race on Friday and Saturday. But also it does dilute the results, because you have like Kyle Busch winning fucking races. So everybody else is basically vying for P2 on these. How do you guys feel about it now being 5 races apiece? And I think 13 drivers have done at least 1 race in a lower series this year. 13 Cup Series drivers have raced in a lower series. I mention them every week when we do like the scheduling and whatnot. How do you guys feel about them being able to do 5? I believe that I'm against it, just so you know right off the bat, and I'm usually wrong. How do you guys feel about it?
I mean, I'm definitely content with the 5 races.
Okay, good.
I'm more concerned about, one, you get more than that, it starts becoming a question of like what is reasonable. As of right now, like you said, Large, there's really only feels to me like Kyle Busch. Like if you ask me without providing any info, Kyle Busch is the only guy that comes to mind as a guy that regularly does this a bunch. So, and I would be on the side of like, it does boost the viewership. I think it's something to watch for. It's another interesting storyline. And oftentimes when we have these guys on the show, I'll ask the younger guys, whether they be a truck driver or Xfinity driver, how they feel about this. And 99% of the time we've been told that they enjoy having the best talent come down and competing against them. So, I don't know. I kind of defer to the drivers. And if they seem like this is something that they're going to welcome with open arms, then I kind of have to fall in line, because it is cool when you see a Cup driver wheeling Xfinity or in the Truck Series. Maybe this is a bad example, but if I see them on DraftKings, I'm intrigued to take them. That's a storyline I want to invest in and see if they can ultimately get the win. And a lot of times I feel like it's not even for a track where they're going to win at. It's a track that they're unfamiliar with, that they want to get their feet wet, get more reps, more seat time, especially in a day and age where practice is limited, if not non-existent. So I'm pro this. I don't know explicitly where I would
You're
stop.
pro keeping it at 5.
Yeah, I think 5 is fair.
Yeah.
I think 5 is fair. Once you go more than that, I think it becomes a can of worms.
I wonder if we speak, because I remember, and yeah, you can name a guy. We'll use Jesse Love as an example. I think when we were speaking to him, he's like, I want to race against the best every week. That's okay to say when he only has to put up with that 5 times at most from these individual drivers. But if it's every week where these guys just kind of go down there and start wiping them out, I don't think it's good for the fucking sport. And this Xfinity series is not broken. It's not fucking broken at all. Like I'm saying, they're pulling good numbers. We sit here and talk how most weekends, or a good percentage of weekends, they put on a better racing performance than the Cup Series. I just don't want them to fuck it up. And that's something that doesn't seem broken for me. Maybe it's a selling point to O'Reilly to be like, by the way, you not only have these young superstars, you got fucking, Kyle Larson racing in there every now and again. So I don't know. I kind of want it to stay as is. Quigs Moon, you guys feel strongly about this either way?
I think 5 is like the system it's right now is good. I think there's like 2 ways to look at it. It's what it does for the viewership on TV, and then like I guess just the treating the series as like it's not just a showpiece. Like there's actual guys in there that are racing for their lives. So like you could, if you wanted to boost the numbers, you'd almost, instead of doing like raise the ceiling of how many they can do, like require like every single race has a guest like Cup Series driver, and you almost do it like a UFC fight where you're like Richmond with Kyle Busch or
Yeah.
whatever. But I think that's a terrible idea. That wasn't.
once you vocalized it, yeah.
But I'm saying like that's what they could do if they wanted to just like boost the ratings. But I don't know. I don't think you want somebody doing more than 5 races in a season, because at that point I don't think any of the drivers want to do that either. Like I think
like Ross did it. Like Ross did his 5, and if he was talking to us today, I'd ask him, was he jonesing for more? Kyle did his 5.
I'd like to know if he had a limit of 10, if he would have done 10.
Yeah,
or
I'll ask Bubba too. I mean, it's nice to have somebody coming in, but like also out of the 13 whatever drivers that went in collectively, I think in the Xfinity series and trucks, I think it might be collectively, they only accounted for 5 wins. But that's 5 wins that they took from truck series regulars and Xfinity guys. Like that's where I see a small problem. And I think it was a Kyle Larson interview where he said, it's not the cheat code that people think it is. Stuff that I do when I race Xfinity on a track, it doesn't transfer over into the Cup Series because it's in different conditions normally, different times of day and all that stuff. And the weather obviously changes naturally. And the car is so fucking different that it's actually you have to reset back into the Cup Series mindset in order to be successful. Maybe road courses are different because you can check out chicanes, all that bullshit. But in general, I don't know if it's the cheat code that I personally make it out to be every week. Oh, this guy's got a benefit.
I don't think it is.
Yeah.
Or Cup drivers would be fighting over seats every week.
Exactly.
If it really gave them an advantage that some people think it does.
Yeah. You give a fuck about this, Moon?
It's not like the top of my priority list, but I will say this was just the Kyle Busch rule back in the day when Kyle Busch was running and winning every week. So I think now with the Cup cars being so drastically different from the trucks and really the Xfinity car, the trucks, I guess, kind of race similar, but being so different, I think to what you guys just said, there's not going to be a line of Cup drivers every week wanting to race, I don't think. So I don't think it'd be a bad thing to open it up. Everybody's talked about this year how the young rich kids tear shit up and don't learn anything until they get to Cup. I think it'd be a good thing to maybe have some of the older guys out there more frequently who can teach them a lesson or put the fear of God in them every once in a while.
Yeah, I hear. All right, so there's 2 sides of the story, but it looks like I'm on the side of Kyle Larson for once. Listen, we don't get too much into the whole lawsuit that's going on, but Jeff Gluck and Bob Pockrass were nice enough to break down this latest response to the preliminary injunction requested by 2311 and Front Row opposing it on several fronts, including there is a bunch of stuff in this report that came out. And if you're reading it as a casual legal guy who watches Law and Order every now and again, it looks like 2311 has the opportunity to really be fucked here. NASCAR made a couple of points. There's no irreparable harm to the teams because they're running as open cars. No driver has left the team, and there's no danger of them failing to qualify for a race. So NASCAR is shooting down that. NASCAR also says that the court can't force NASCAR to be in a business relationship with parties that they don't want to be in a business relationship with. That seems very commonsensical. Then they said the teams can't show a likelihood of success on their claim NASCAR's monopoly. We can argue that, so I'm throwing it away. But this one is cool. It would harm NASCAR if the court prevented them from selling the 6 charters to the many eager potential entrants who want to buy them because those new teams need time to prepare for the 2026 season. Steve Phelps in his declaration stated that he has personally spoken to multiple parties who are eager to buy the team's charters, and those people's names were on the report but then redacted so he couldn't see them, but they take up 5 lines of the page, which leads people to believe that there are 5 people who are chomping at the bit, and we know it's true, that want to buy these fucking charters. That's putting 2311 and Front Row's feet to the flames if they can get these charters sold. And they make a good point. You can't sell these charters on December 31st and expect these teams to be up and running by the time of Speed Week. Like, it just won't fucking happen. And maybe it's just posturing to scare the shit out of 2311, but they're also like, Michael Jordan in his deposition said 2311 had made reasonable profits each year, which isn't going to go over well with the fans. Like, reasonable profits is a good thing. And I don't think they mind that NASCAR isn't this type of place where these teams make a ton of fucking money. And then NASCAR teams are allowed to race on the Cars Tour, which is further evidence they're not excluding the teams from other monopolistic practice. All this stuff that just came out of this week's response to whatever the fuck it is pretty engaging for me and would make me sort of start to lean towards NASCAR's side. And I've been agnostic, not taking a side either way. And it's uncomfortable for me to say that as we were about to have a 2311 driver join us. But what do you guys think, just from what I had spat out at you? Is what NASCAR is saying sensible? And is what NASCAR is saying going to really move the needle here with the public?
I personally think they're going to just cause themselves more issues should they sell these 6 charters. And I just think that would just, and again, I'm trying to like dumb down and make sense of the legal proceedings as you just did, Large, which I think is incredibly helpful. Thanks. But I don't really understand what's happening. So I think that it's just of this point, given how messy this whole thing has gotten, if NASCAR were to indeed sell these charters, they would then be opening themselves up for a bigger mess. But I do think there is a little bit of credibility in some of the arguments that you made on their behalf. Like the fact that they said that they made reasonable profits is not going to help their case, saying that they're like being, not given their fair share in the sport, which I think is kind of one of the fundamental things that this lawsuit was predicated on. That being said, I also think there's a massive opportunity for potential investors. Who's to say someone like BJ McLeod, who just made a shit ton of money off the charter sale, imagine he comes in, buys these on the low as NASCAR's just looking for a quick sale to prove.
He's racing this weekend. BJ's in a Live Fast car this weekend.
Racing, for example, comes in and just cuts a check and keeps Cody in a car despite having, maybe Suarez or Corey LaJoie or whoever the hell, whatever they're planning to do there. And then you have teams like Legacy that are still looking to expand and grow their, team. So I don't know. I think that I definitely agree with NASCAR from the stake that the point that there are people that are probably interested. But I don't agree with them selling it. Obviously, I think it
might be a fear tactic, because you're right. It's going to get fucking hairy if the day after they sell them, this thing kind of settles.
I don't know why they're being so stubborn though. Like, to me, I'm obviously a 2311 fan, as I am a bunch of other teams, but I think NASCAR fans should be of the opinion it's great to see someone as household of a name as Michael Jordan come in and spend hundreds of $millions in your sport, build, invest, grow a team, build a brand new race shop, provide all these jobs, hire people. Like, that to me is something we should encourage, not kind of, inspect under a magnifying glass looking for faults, because it's a great thing. And I hate
that's a perfect point. That's a perfect point, Spider. Yeah. Because I was villainizing Jordan after saying they had a moderate profit. Like, he did invest that money. He's made money on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it hasn't been one of those things where Jeff Gordon, I think, said, Hendrick Motorsports loses money every year. Right. Everybody was like, okay, they all live on a lake with a helicopter, but I get you. You're losing money every year. To see that he's making money could paint him in the light being like, wow, what a greedy prick from outside of NASCAR trying to shake things up just so he can make the type of money he made with fucking Nike. I'm just saying this off the top of my head, but your point is valid. This guy is injecting so much money into this sport and upping the fucking profile. Maybe it's not so easy to take sides. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't understand it enough. So I kind of need them to just like expedite the proceedings and then figure out what the hell the resolution is.
Yeah. I won't put you guys' feet to the fire with this. I just want people to know that it's out there. And some of the stuff that I've read from NASCAR seems to be pretty salient, and it's going to be tough to maybe argue that shit in court. We usually do like a Carson Hocevar segment. He's got no headlines this week. P15 finish last week, had some problems in the pits, but I wanted a Spidey score on this. As people are talking about Carson Hocevar, as we're going into the playoffs, if Tyler Reddick just makes it in and there's a brand new winner at Daytona and Alex Bowman is on the outside looking in of this playoff series, of this playoffs, Hocevar to the 48 if Alex Bowman misses the playoffs. That's what a lot of people were throwing around, but they were throwing around on Carson Hocevar's page. So I understand that it's, just that special little group. Spider, how do you grade that? Your Spidey score. This isn't one of your ones. I know that. Hocevar to the 48.
Yeah, I would give it a C.
Okay.
This is something a C, and the C is for like constantly or continuously or every single year at this point in the season. The 48 is constantly getting rumors about getting fired, getting replaced, who's going to drive it next year. I feel like we've done it with every driver. I feel like for a minute it was Brad Kay, then it was Kyle Busch, then it was Justin Haley last year, which is looking back is crazy to believe. But yeah, I mean, unfortunately, I think that's just going to be the way it is. There's always going to be a guy that's worst on the team. And unfortunately, in this case, I think it's been Alex Bowman the last couple of years. Not to say he's not a bad driver, not to say he's not talented. He is all of those things. But there's always going to be one weakest link. I do think, though, and this is going to sound like I'm being a hater, just remember I just gave him compliments.
You did.
It was tough listening to him try to claim that was like race manipulation or like everyone was against him. Like, sure, maybe Jesse Love and Shane Van Gisbergen. I don't even know who was the other car. There was someone that he was upset wouldn't give him the corner on exit. Like he could have, he was losing a little bit of time because a car was holding him up. Like, not to the tune of 3 seconds. I think 3.5 seconds was the race deficit between Bowman and Austin Dillon. It's like, you got to be reasonable. So I thought that was a tough look. I did think he ran a great race, obviously the best on his team, finishing second. But yeah, I think it was a tough look, especially when it's like Austin Dillon and you're like making excuses. That didn't really sit well with me. It seems like a lot of times these drivers just want people to pull out of their way. Like the other guys on the track are not racing for their own success as well. So I feel like a lot of times that gets lost.
That's kind of the same thing in other sports though, when like a team losing, they're just like the refs did this and that, and it's like they don't actually deep down think the refs like cost them the game. They're just heat of the moment. They're looking for somebody to blame.
Yeah, I just think I don't know. Just beat him would be my advice. I think he has. Listen, and again, I don't mean to take backhanded shots at RCR, another team that I like rooting for. They got some great people over there, but
blue collar.
If you're if you're in definitely better equipment and that happens, it's like at some point you can't just be making excuses. Just, second place is still something to be proud of.
Yeah. You dialed it back a little bit, the post-race stuff, saying, sometimes you say shit on the radio, and I get that, but still, when you say race manipulation over the radio, it tends to perk people's ears up.
Especially at Richmond with Austin Dillon. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's already been a clear, like, kind of precedent set. This seemed like as clean as the end of the race as you could have wanted, and there were still complaints going around. So I didn't love that. But then again, I also get it. It's like these guys are racing to lock themselves in the playoffs. Those without wins are going to do everything to get the win. So I would want my driver to be upset and locked in too. So I feel like that's kind of par for the course. But I didn't love that in real time. You
guys see the new Quiggs Moonhead. You're building a team, right? Because Barstool is bidding on one of 2311 charters. I don't know if I should break that news right here. So we're going to build a team. You have an opportunity to put somebody in the seat. Do you put Alex Bowman or Carson Hocevar?
Man, that's tough.
That's not an easy question.
It's not. Well, here's the thing. I think if we're going driving ability and longevity potential, you got to go Hocevar. But he's also kind of a team owner's worst nightmare because while he's good, he's a complete and total liability 24/7. So
that's my exact thought process.
It's tough.
I was going to just jump on Hocevar, and then I was like, do I want to deal with that headache?
Yeah, I wouldn't. I think I'd stick because Bowman's good for, good runs and all that. He's consistent. Yeah, and he's not really going to get you in the news for anything stupid.
I'm a gambler. I'd go Hocevar.
And Hocevar is doing it with equipment that's not Hendrick equipment either. So I wonder if they did switch seats, for a couple of races and we could see how they perform. That's really the only way to do it. I don't put much credence for Hocevar to the 48 next season either, but I just like hearing Spider throw out a C. And then you always throw what the C is. C for consistency was absolutely sweet because this guy does get a shitload of these rumors, and I don't think he deserves them.
No, I definitely don't think so either. But I also think a win would have, solidify. Like when was it the Chicago street race where we were doing the song and dance and then he won and then everyone kind of got off his back. So like, I think he's a guy that's like, all right, enough of this bullshit. If I just win this, people will leave me alone. I'll have job security. So, yeah.
I remember like Bubba was fucking with him in Chicago. I mean, the guy gets it. So I don't know. I'm Team Bowman, I guess. I took a look at this new schedule. New schedule's out. 2026 schedule's out. Somehow Jordan Bianchi gets it early. I don't know how he could leak that stuff early without NASCAR being like, I don't want to do anything with you. Or perhaps they do that just to kind of soften the blow, let Jordan have it a little bit early. But either way, the schedule's out officially now. We'd seen it for about a day, thanks to Jordan. I appreciate that. Is there anything on this schedule for 2026? I'm going to ask this question to the three of you guys. I'll go over some of the different changes and whatnot. What race on the new scheduling, and it's in the rundown, I put it down, right down there. Is there any race on this schedule that you're circling that you have to go to? And trucks, Xfinity, and Cup obviously be the most important. Is there anything here that you're like, fuck, I definitely want to do that this year?
There's one that I definitely want to go to, and then there's one that I think I'm going to give one compliment, one criticism.
Go.
Obviously, I'm super big fan of the championship at Miami. I think that's going to be a home run. The race we were there, what was it, a couple years ago? Reddick won on the last lap. That was fucking scenes. I think that place is perfect. That track is perfect layout for the championship, especially with the current cars we got going on. So I'm thrilled and hopefully definitely going to be at the championship in Miami next year. On the flip side of it, if I have a criticism, I just don't understand how Dover is the all-star race. Just doesn't make sense to me. That doesn't really feel like, an all-star vibe. And I don't know really what that means or what the expectation should be for that. I think Nashville's been a good spot. We've seen them do it. And I don't know. Dover, I'm just a little skeptical of. So that was my initial take on seeing the schedule. I don't know if you guys have your own feedback or feedback to any of it.
I like that answer better than the question I asked. Looking at the schedule, Quiggs and Moon, give me one race that you have to be at. If you only go to one race next year, the one that you have to be at. And Spider took Miami for the championship, which is a good one. And what one is absolute cheeks?
So this isn't a race everybody's got to be at, but I want to go to Chicagoland, check that out. It's close enough that it's an easy race, and I want to see what Chicagoland's all about.
Yeah.
So that would be mine.
And plus, like, Chicagoland is set up to be sweet for this generation car. Like, this next generation cars should do pretty well there. So I'd be excited about that. July 5th is a little bit weird. Like a night race maybe on July 4th. I don't know if people wouldn't go to that, but that July 5th weekend might be a little bit sticky for me. Is there anything that jumps out at you not being ideal on this? Somebody's going to mention the same one as me at some point.
I mean, all-star race, obviously.
Okay. There's one obvious one left.
I was looking for trying to see if they were stacking road courses because that was a complaint I had. Mm-hmm. But they actually did, I think, in a good way. San Diego goes into Sonoma
for the West Coast trip. Yeah,
is compared to what they did this year of Chicago to Mexico. Makes a lot more logistic sense. So I got no issue with that one.
They cut one road course, so we only have 5. They spread them out a little bit better. So in March, you have Coda. May, you have Watkins Glen. June, you do have San Diego and Sonoma back-to-back. But as Quiggs had just said, they're out there. So they're going to stay out there for the week. And then it's not until October when you get the Roval. So they have spread out the road courses, and they dropped one off the schedule because they got all my letters with the SVG thing. So, all right, Moon, anything that looks like it shouldn't be on the schedule next year?
Yeah, I'm anti-Dover all-star race for sure. Okay. But low-hanging fruit, Wilkesboro getting a points race is cool. My concern with that one is I hope that they try the whole Sunday night race thing with that because that's going to be hot. The infield there is freshly paved asphalt, and there's no tunnel. So you're in there and you're cooking if it's a day race. So maybe they need to look into that. But and then the San Diego race, that seems really cool. It's hard for me to just pick one because there's a lot of tracks I still haven't hit. But San Diego, I don't know how long that would be around. So if I picked one, I'd probably go to that one or Chicago.
I got to go a little bit off this regular schedule. Trucks are going to be racing at the end of February on a street course in St. Petersburg. And they're going to do it in conjunction with the IndyCar that's racing there that same week. I'd kind of like to see that too.
That would be cool.
It's early in the season. It's in February. So hopefully we get some good weather down there. You go down to St. Petersburg, Florida. I don't know. But I think that'd be kind of fucking cool. And I don't want to see the Roval. Like, every time I see that pop up on the thing, I'm hoping beyond hope that it's not going to be on there anymore. I think we're probably going to be at the Roval this year, but still, it's one of those ones where I love Charlotte. I don't love the Roval, but otherwise, I don't know. It looks okay. People are going to have some problems with it because people have problems with it all the time. But one of the things that they also added was 2 weeks off for the guys. There's going to be a week off on August 2nd and Easter weekend. So because right now these drivers haven't had a week off, so they're doing this 28 weeks straight, which, I know they get paid well to do it, but still it's a little bit of a fucking grind. So we're going to see Mother's Day and August 2nd. And it's a little bit weird because the other series are not off for, I think, the August 2nd one. I think they're in Rockingham. So it's not like, Easter weekend. Easter weekend, Trucks and Xfinity are still running in Rockingham. So the teams actually don't have off. It's like one of those half-ass things if you're running multiple cars in multiple series. But anyway, the new schedule is out, culminating in the championship at Miami Speedway Homestead, which we are fucking crazy about. I'll give you guys one more question. This UK ambassador said that he's made a big pitch for the first Super Bowl outside the US to take place in Britain, and everybody lost their fucking minds. No way are we fucking playing the Super Bowl in Britain. And I totally agree with it. And then a guy named Eggs Tyrone, who follows us on social media, said, what about doing it at Daytona? What about having the Clash at Bowman Gray the following week, having the Super Bowl at Daytona, go right into Speed Week, and then you have Daytona 500? I know it would piss off NFL stadiums and stuff, but you can pack a lot of fucking bodies in Daytona. And the Daytona for the fucking Super Bowl, is that something that has been bandied about forever? Because I just read it yesterday and I got some blood flow. What do you guys think about the Super Bowl at Daytona? It'll never happen, right?
Yeah,
never fucking happen. But how fucking cool would that be, Quiggs? I mean, instead of going to, remember when the Super Bowl was in Jacksonville that one year and everyone was like, we had like a blackout party down there, rained like crazy. Imagine I did that at fucking Daytona. I think it would be a ball. No, or am I way out on this?
It would have to be Bristol.
I was going to say Bristol's the spot.
Or even, but like if you go somewhere smaller than that, at that point, just do it at a stadium. But it's like the sight lines and I don't know.
Who gives a fuck?
What are you thinking, Large? In the Tri-Oval?
I have no fucking clue. I'm just saying, just make it happen and fill the fucking. You don't think everybody in the state of Florida would go? You don't think you'd have 200,000 fucking people at the Super Bowl?
I think
you could, but then you'd have 200,000 people complaining about the logistics and the
right.
They can't see anything.
I've yet to have a good take today. I apologize.
You thought that was going to be your good take?
I don't know. I'm grabbing at straws here. I apologize.
No, I love it.
Yeah. We're going to go 3 wide right now with our good friend Bubba Wallace, and this is brought to you by Dive Bomb. Dive Bomb Industries. They have gear that's designed to perform in the toughest conditions. They make products for the outdoorsman, the hunter, and the sportsman. They even have golf polos and everyday wear. Listen, Spider and I'll tell this story every week if I have to. We made our first hunting trip, and it would have been awful if it wasn't for 2 things. Sydney Wells, who is absolutely outstanding with what she does with Barstool Outdoors, but that wouldn't have been enough with me and Spider being in freezing cold water trying to shoot ducks. Dive Bomb saved our fucking lives. And then on top of it, I've been to their factory, their, super whatever. They've got so much stuff. They were like, Large, you want a golf shirt? I was like, yeah. 70 fucking golf shirts they had. I'm not saying that they're all for sale, but I was able to get some. Everything that these guys do is quality. And if you're a hunter or a fisherman or anything like that, this is a no-brainer. If you're not a hunter, if you're not a fisherman, it's also a no-brainer. Run out and grab one of their polos. Spider's rocking the hat. I'll be wearing one of those polos when I'm interviewing Bubba for you guys who are watching this on YouTube. It's absolutely legit stuff. Fun group of guys, and they make outdoors a lot more fun and a lot more comfortable. So check out divebombindustries.com and use code Rubbin15 at checkout. again, I can't stress this enough. The golf polos I wear all the time, and if you're hunting, you will not be comfortable as you are when you are wearing Dive Bomb Industries stuff. So give them a look. And with that, let's talk to Bubba. Hey, everybody, welcome on back. As promised, we got driver the number 23 Toyota for 2311. It's Bubba Wallace, recent winner of the Brickyard for 100, I think. I don't really remember. Bubba, how are you doing, my man?
I don't remember.
You don't, right?
Yeah. In this second right now, I'm good.
I would tell you, Jordan Bianchi, Jeff Gluck, Bob Pockrass, they all have these like hidden sources that they'll never give up. I have one hidden source who has said that you've become unbearable to work with since you won the Brickyard 400. I will never give up that source.
Yeah.
But when Freddie Kraft told me that when we were drunk in a hot tub, I said, Freddie, you're out of your fucking mind. I had Freddie the other day on the show. So he came in right after the
We're
week.
not just going to skip over the part where you just said when we were drunk in a hot tub.
No, I was going to try to go over that. I got some pictures I'll show you later on. Talk to me about that relationship with you two guys, because you know I'm very fond of you, and we always joke back and forth. And Freddie and I have been out to eat a bunch of times. I don't know how he landed his wife, to be quite honest with you. It's a huge mystery.
You always ask me that every time, and I never have the answer.
No idea. I haven't seen him naked yet, but it's one of those things that might explain everything. But talk to me about your relationship with your spotter, because it seems like over the past couple of seasons, NASCAR has kind of gone into that. They've given the spotters a little bit more shine on the show. They've also done it with the pit crews, which is kind of nice to do as well. So talk to me about it, like your relationship with your spotter and your team.
Yeah. Freddie and I have been working together, 14, 15 years, something like that. And he's become just really a big brother, a trusting voice, an annoying voice.
Right.
But, you know, you said it. They're starting to give them a little bit more spotlight, a little bit more shine. And I think that's good, because you ask me, I don't know, maybe 8-10 years ago, what can NASCAR do better is, you know, yes, when you think of NASCAR, you think of the drivers, right?
Yeah.
We need to do a better job at highlighting the other avenues that make the drivers who they are, right? And Freddie's been a part of my career from the start. So being able to spotlight that.
Why is he with you from the start? Is it just something?
Well, we won
like
our first race together.
Okay.
We won our first race together. So actually, I think it was Mike Herman who spots for Chris Buescher.
Okay.
He was going to spot for me at our first K&N race, ARCA East race, in Greenville, South Carolina. He went to go spot for Ty Dillon at an ARCA race somewhere. So he's like, hey, I got this guy, Freddie. So we go to Greenville. We are leading the last couple restarts, and he is getting super animated, like, oh, you're going to win? Like, and I was like, never again, screaming the radio. Don't do that. Okay. We won, because it got me excited. And I'm holy cow, you know? And now, over the years, you know, he's like, you know, wrecking here, there.
Yeah.
Hey, you won the Brickyard. He got a little excited for the Brickyard.
He did.
He got excited.
Yeah,
a little
and he was out of breath trying to get down to you, too. I felt bad for that poor bastard.
Yes, no doubt. So, you know, it's hard to boot somebody out. Thought about it many times, but it's hard to boot somebody out when you win your first race together. Mm-hmm. And,
He's impossible to fire?
I get it. He's so big.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. I feel the same way about Spider, but he's so small.
So small,
like, you know,
right?
The whole deal.
You feel bad, yeah.
We weren't at Indy. We were at Indy a couple of weeks before you had won the race, because we have a golf tournament out there. Yep. And it was the first time.
Yeah, Blaney got invited. I didn't.
Blaney got invited. You didn't, because we like Blaney more than you.
Yes.
Like, that's the whole thing.
Fair.
But Blaney was, by the way, he's a good golfer.
He is a good golfer.
Yeah. Are you?
Yeah. I'm 2-3 strokes behind him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm about 2-3 strokes behind you then.
Yeah.
So I'm like more of a ham and egg type guy.
Yeah.
But I was impressed. I thought that Ryan was pretty good at it. But one of the things about that course is that when it dips into the speedway, it's not gimmicky. It's really cool. They had like a Porsche driving school that went around us as we're teeing off and stuff. But I was able to feel for the first time the tradition that is around Indianapolis. Mm-hmm. I went to college in Indiana, but I wasn't into racing back then, so I didn't need to make that pilgrimage to Indianapolis. Yeah. How does it feel like and I know you've answered this question so many times after you won, but how does it feel to get another win, but to get it on like what's considered hallowed ground?
Yeah. It's been really cool for me, it's another win, right? Fun fact, I've never played the full golf course there at the Brickyard.
I'll change that.
Okay. In the tournament next year.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. You know, I try not to be like I don't care about the history or whatever. But to me, man, winning at Indianapolis is the same as winning at Kansas. You know, to me, it's another win. Totally understand and appreciate the history.
Right.
But the only thing I thought about coming off turn 4 was, finally, dude, you did it. Good job.
Yeah.
Not like, oh my God, we just won at the Brickyard. Like, whoever would have thought that? Like, not me. Like, it's just one of those things where if we go and win Daytona, yes, it's Daytona. I guess that's a bad example. I don't know. If you go and win Iowa,
right,
that would be the same as winning Indy to me. Like, it's another win. It's so hard to win at this sport. And I think I'm more focused on that challenge than like setting out like, I want to win 500. I want to win the Brickyard. I want to win the Southern 500. I want to win this.
All Crown Jewels.
Yes.
But it changes your intro.
It does.
Right? Because you're now, Brickyard 400 winner,
right.
Bubba Wallace. Like one of the first people that we had in here was Ricky after he won the Daytona 500.
That's right.
I was like, what's different? He's like, I'm now Daytona 500 winner Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
Can't take that away from
Which
him.
is kind of cool. But I will tell you, you're downplaying it and saying that it was just like any other win. And I respect that. But there was something, and I just want to talk to you about it. There was something so special about afterwards. Like, it actually kind of choked me up a little bit, and I don't get choked up because I'm dead inside. But when you had won during that victory lap, right? Everybody coming over and adoring you. You don't see it that often, right? It's particularly like with SVG, people like want to throw tacks at his like tires and shit, and that's not true either. But everybody was kind of giving you the bump and all that. That has to be. I don't know if I was at your win at Kansas just by coincidence. I was so disappointed because I don't like you. I just got the fuck out of there.
You just left.
But it was one of those things where I don't know if I've ever seen something like that before in my small time watching NASCAR. That's got to be something that's especially special to you.
Yeah, for sure, man. I try to be how you and I have a relationship. Like, that's how I am with everybody. If I see something that I'm going to call you out on, like, you best believe it, right? You having no hair for all your life, like, it's sad, but it's unfortunate. It is what it is. You embrace it. And that's how I am. And I try not to be, sometimes it can be, I guess, labeled as me being cocky or arrogant or me being a jerk or an asshole. And it's like, man, I'm just here to have fun and poke fun. And I know when it's time to be serious and when it's not, but I don't know of a bigger shit talker than me in the garage.
Is there anybody close? Because a lot of people
maybe
are silent.
Denny.
Maybe
Denny,
okay.
right?
Yeah.
But I think his motives are a little different. I'm just trying to poke fun, right?
Right.
And but I would say, like, it's super hard, and I don't care. Like, Tyler has said it. I'm not gonna give MJ any crap, but Bubba will. Like, hey, I don't care who you are. Like, we're all human beings at the end of the day. And if there's something funny and there's something that's gonna be talked about, then I'm gonna be the first one to bring it up.
Yeah. I will circle back now that you just said Tyler. I was sitting in bed last night. I do a history podcast as well. And this one's the twisted history of WAGs. So I was talking about wives and girlfriends of serial killers.
Okay.
So I'm going over like BTK killer and their wives and how they were during it. So it was a really weird time at night. I get a text from Tyler Reddick. Listen, are we going to be able to reschedule this? 2 weeks ago, he was going to be on the show.
Okay.
And he's on Cricket Mobile, I think. So it was going out no matter where he was in his house. So we just had to scrap it. And so he's like, I promise we'll reschedule. He's always been extremely generous to the show.
Yeah.
And so I was thinking to myself, this guy is a couple of days away from seeing whether or not he gets into the playoffs, right? Because if he goes into the wall, Bowman and a new winner, that happens. That'd be all I was thinking about. I'd be impossible to live with. And he gave me a buzz last night just to make sure that it's getting rescheduled and stuff.
Right.
So let me ask you about your teammate. How does it feel to not be as good of a person as Tyler, first of all? And how is that relationship with you two guys around the shop as far as bouncing stuff off of you, bouncing stuff off each other as peers as opposed to bouncing stuff off of Denny as a boss?
Yeah. So for the last 2 seasons, my man's locked himself in, right?
Yeah.
Well, I'm now the guy that's locked in. So
correct.
So who's better?
Well, better person.
Oh, okay.
And who's a better person? Undoubtedly
me.
Yes. Oh shit! I'm sorry, you got me.
I got him.
You fucking got me. Yeah. But he's one of the greatest guys, though, right?
Yeah. No, Tyler's been a lot of fun to get to know more and more and work with and become a really good teammate with. And Tyler's sensitive type, though.
Is he?
Tyler's pretty sensitive, and I'm not surprised that he's thinking about multiple things because that's how he operates. I don't understand how he does it, or why he does it, but yeah, he's a man that thinks of many, many things in the most inopportune times,
right?
And it goes back to me, like, hey, man, you're an idiot for thinking of that. And I'll give him shit for it,
right?
So, yeah, so working together, you know, we've really leaned on him for our road course stuff. And man, the last 2 road courses, I think I've beat him.
Wow. You're making a point here.
Right.
And how's Riley then fit in? Like having a young guy like Riley kind of come in?
Riley, man.
Just think about team dynamics, right? Because a lot of people don't get to see it.
So from that standpoint, all 3 of us, we're like the Three Stooges.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because you have a posse that you sort of hang out with.
Yeah,
like
yeah,
you have friends in the garage. I know you and Blaney are as thick as thieves.
Yep.
Right?
Yep,
You bourbon buddies type thing, right?
Yep.
But which is the same way around here with Barstool. I work with Spider. I don't like Spider.
Yep.
Like I hang out with other people just joking around.
Yeah.
But it's one of those things where
I love how you say just joking around, but it's all serious when it comes to me.
Yeah. But so where does Tyler fit in to come in and kind of bust up the party between you and no, excuse me. Where does Riley, excuse me. I lost it there for
Riley fits right into that mold for sure. He's hilarious to be around. He's obviously a little young punk, but he is so glass half full on every scenario.
Positive guy.
Super positive guy.
Uh-huh.
And like I actually appreciate that about him because like there's some moments where, you know, we're in the same qualifying group and normally it's group A for Riley, you know, just throwing out facts there.
There it is.
And I'll be pissed off and frustrated and I'm like, hey man, like try this. And he's like, yeah, no. I'll definitely try it next time. Like, yeah. And I'm like, get mad, man.
Yeah, I hear you. Get a little bit intense. Yeah. So
you know, but then I take a step back and I'm like, man, he's actually thinking about it the right way. Like taking a step back, thinking about it, analyzing it instead of just going into it with, you know, a raw reaction. Sometimes this is the best result. And I've had to learn that the hard way. So I do really appreciate that about Riley. So I actually learn a lot from him. But we all seem to get along fine. Like it's fun in team meetings. It's fun at the racetrack with all of us. So, yeah, we got 2 scenarios. We got to get Reddick. He's in on points. He's fine.
Yeah.
But then it'd be great if Riley
that'd be fucking
won.
great.
Wouldn't that be sick?
Wouldn't it be great for 2311?
Oh, man.
It would just be going through the roof. Yeah.
It'd be with all the stuff going on, like incredible.
Yeah.
And so rank them right now on the spot. Like who would you be more excited for? Riley winning, Tyler making it on points, or me already locked in?
I would be most excited for Tyler making it just because you're already locked in. And I'm telling you, I was, Bridget will tell, my daughter's here today because she's a big Bubba fan. I was very, very excited when you won that race. Yeah. Myself, Annie, and Bridget was sitting down watching that, and we're really, really happy for you. Like I said, and particularly at the end, it went to show how good of a guy you are in the garage, right? Yeah. I thought that was a great testament to your character amongst your peers. So I thought that was cool. But I just don't want anything bad to ever happen to Tyler Reddick for some reason. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's one of those.
Does that mean he wants it to happen to me?
Yes, a little bit indirectly. No, that's not true. But you know what I mean? It's one of those things where you can't pick favorites, especially in front of people. But I just don't want anything bad to happen to Tyler Reddick.
Fair enough.
But the reason that I'm setting this all up, we're talking about Freddie, talking about the pit crew, talking about the teammates.
Yep.
Our guy Mamba, and I love him, had said something about, you know, it's about the best team winning. Yep. And he had eaten so much shit for saying that. Even on other podcasts, I don't see as much of a problem with that. Like, I don't mind a guy saying, you know, just bringing into the thing that this is the playoff system that we have. This is the format.
Yeah.
And, you know, if the team can put it together, they should be celebrated as a team. And it means that they all were kind of clicking on one thing. I think the first thing you do when you jump out of the car is you thank the sponsors first, right? You have to pay the bills, but then you go right to it. These guys did a good job all goddamn week. So it takes a fucking village, doesn't it?
It 100% does.
Right.
And so I'm not on Twitter like that, so I didn't see it directly, and nor did I have well, that was a stupid tweet reaction.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, yeah, I can see your point on that for sure. I can see the other side too. But my take on it all, and I say on it all as there's so much jazz about the playoff format right now.
Mm-hmm.
The playoff format is what it is, and it is our job to capitalize on the way that it is and be the best and beat everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. There's no other way around it. If I win one race and I have somehow point my way all the way to the final four and finish second in the race, I beat everybody else in this scenario. That's it.
I am a staunch believer that Joey Logano is the best Cup Series driver because to me, winning championships is the reason that you guys play. And I know collecting wins is huge and people can argue with that all they want. But for me, it's winning championships. And until people win as many chips as him, then he'll no longer be the best. I'm not saying he's the best pure driver,
right.
or anything like that. But he knows what you guys are stuck with because you don't have a say, and maybe you're one of those guys who wants to go back to the chase. Maybe it's I don't really give a fuck. This is what you have,
right?
And if you don't figure out how to do it, then you're just not as good as somebody who has, which has been Joey's team.
Yeah, they're good in clutch moments and putting themselves in positions to win and taking those big risks.
Yeah,
and 9 times out of 10 it works out for them,
which is good.
So, yeah.
Talk to me about with the new schedule coming out.
Yeah.
Whenever I look at a schedule, I think that athletes must circle, Kansas. Oh, I'm going to get another one at Kansas.
Right.
This, like, you're going to feel like, hey, if there was a week, not that you ever say this, to bet on Bubba Wallace, it's this week, and this week, right? You have to have the ones where you feel that you're in the best position to win.
Yeah.
What's the other side of it? When you see the schedule come out, what driver scares you the most at what track when you're going into it? Where you're like, shit, I got to do this at this, you know what I mean?
Well, SVG will be locked in super early with Coda. I don't know. Tyler and I qualified 1-2 at Coda to start the year off,
right?
And then I quickly shit the bed. But yeah. So obviously the road courses SVG is going to be a bear to deal with.
How do you take down that bear, by the way? Because you're going to give me another answer, and I know I was talking to Briscoe. Briscoe's like, I think I'm going to put a GoPro just so I can see what he does with his feet.
And, I already have that.
Yeah, but correct. So that's Briscoe. But then he's like, but this guy has learned to do whatever he does, that heel toe bullshit. Yeah. He's been doing it for 30 years. Yeah. So even if you guys go into a lab, it's something that you can't recreate.
No.
So what do we do? Do we have to hire an assassin to get this guy out of the way?
I think I think
probably
we're
the
on
only
to
thing?
last resort, and we are there.
Okay, so. I have a guy. So outside of SVG, who are you kind of like? That's kind of his track.
Well, I mean, it varies because we have tracks that we run decent at. Okay, so going into this year, who'd you have money on to win the Brickyard? Larson?
Maybe
because he won it last year. Yeah, he finished second.
I always have Larson in Miami. I always have Denny in Pocono. There's always those guys where, but it isn't one of those things where that's the ringer going. I wonder what the drivers feel as they're walking towards their car at Pocono and Denny walks by and be like, I got 7 of these or whatever the hell he has.
Right.
You know what I mean?
So I think for us is we look at the tracks that, I haven't necessarily had dominating races or won multiple times, right? I got Talladega, Kansas, and Indy now. But those are 3 tracks where you can circle like, this could be a really good shot. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot of tracks on the schedule. I mean, ran 6th at Iowa. We came from 32nd to 6th in the last 100 laps there. Richmond, we've run top 5 there the last 5 trips now. So Richmond circled. So there's a lot of tracks that are circled on the schedule as potentials for Bubba Wallace and crew. But yeah, Pocono, Denny for sure. Dover, Denny. Larson's kind of in the mix of all of those,
so many,
yeah. I mean,
except at Daytona.
We
talked about how NASCAR is thinking about either going as many double duty races that you want, or at least raising the limit to where it is now from 5 to something higher than 5. And I'd seen that 13 drivers this season so far have taken advantage of pulling double duty in either trucks or Xfinity. And I think out of those 13 guys, they had won 5 races. Yeah. And I think that's a very sweet spot where it's not overshadowing the Xfinity drivers who shouldn't be racing for P2 every week,
right?
With the kind of these ringers. I do notice you don't do it. Why don't you do any kind of double duty? Is there nothing that you can pick up from racing on Saturday that you can transfer over till Sunday? Or are you lazy?
The cars are so different.
Thing?
No.
Well,
the big issue is there's certain people that once they're out, then yes, I will gladly try to chase that venture more.
Okay.
I would love to do full time. I would love to do 3 races a weekend. That would be a lot of fun.
Okay.
So it's just the right opportunity. You got to raise the funding for it. It's not just jumping in. Oh, he's a Cup driver. He can afford it. You know, I don't want to spend my own money doing it. Mm-hmm. So you get your partners involved. So it's a process, and that process kind of starts like now to go ahead and fill out like what races you want to do for next year.
Okay.
So I text the Tricon guys. I text David Gill and hey man, is Martinsville open? Like I want to go back and try to get another clock in Martinsville. Like I want to do that, but it's full. So you just kind of have to be proactive on those types of things. But yeah, I would love to. So it's just a matter of time, and I think that time will be rather sooner than later. Outside
of getting cool clocks and whatnot, is there a real cheat code to it? Because Larson had said that there's nothing that he gets from racing on Saturday that it transfers over to Sunday, except maybe with some road courses. But with oval racing, because the car is so different, and even the time of day is different, and the weather changes, so it's a totally different track by the time you get to the Cup race. Do you find that it's a cheat code for you at all? Do you, just to have some familiarity with some of these places?
I would say road courses for sure. And now, like my road course where I'm lacking the most is Racecraft. And so if practice and qualifying got rained out and it was just like go line them up and race, I'd be like, all right, sweet.
Right.
Let me figure out how to pass. That's where I'm lacking the most. Getting raw speed out of a car, I feel like I'm there. There's a tenth or so. Not comparing myself to SVG, to the rest of the field.
Okay.
I feel like I'm there, a tenth or so off. And so Racecraft at road courses 100% could use other cars, other series to figure that out. Everything else, ovals, the car drives so different. You're slipping and sliding those Xfinity cars and the trucks around a lot. But aside from massaging your ego a little bit, like it's fun. It's fun to go out there and compete.
Right.
And know, like, I tried to tell Raja this when he was coming up through. I was like, man, when you get your first Xfinity start and then you go back to trucks, you're going to be like, trucks, this is hard? No, it's not.
Right.
I remember going from truck to Xfinity, making that step, learning, got back into a truck, or I did actually some Cup starts when I filled in for the 43. Then I went back and ran that truck race in Michigan. And I'm like, what the hell was so hard about truck racing? And it was 3 years apart.
Really?
And I was like, this is easy. But it's not easy. I'm not trying to, what I'm saying? It's easier.
Yeah.
And it's
We're not putting down the truck series by any stretch of imagination. It's fun racing.
Yes. And it's like, holy cow, like just having all the knowledge now of where to position your car or your truck. It's like you learn so much as you grow up and get through the other series.
Right.
So when you go back down, it should be easier, and it's a hell of a lot more fun.
But when you were down in the lower series, were you pissed off? And I know the stock answer for guys in that series is, I want to race against the best every week. Yep. I don't care if it's Kyle Busch or if it's Corey Heim, or I want to race against the best every week. You have to say that. But now looking back, did it piss you off when the guys from the Cup Series would come down and push you guys around a little bit because it was easier?
No, because one, when you beat them, it was sweeter.
Right. Yeah, it is kind of sweet. Yeah.
It's funny. We were standing in this little Richmond suite before driver intros, me, Blaney, Ryan Priest, and Keselowski, and we were all talking about kids. Like we're at that point where we're talking about kids.
Uh-huh.
And
how pathetic.
And we were like tracing back, like, what race did you have your night? After what win? And he was like, Brad said his first kid came after his Bristol truck win. I finished second in that one. So yeah. And I was like, damn, that pissed me off a little bit,
Oof, yeah. Also the idea of Brad getting a little, you know what I mean? It's a little different for me, right?
Hey, that's Brad.
My daughter's in the audience.
That's Brad.
Yeah, bad Brad. As long as he's not on a basketball court.
Right. That's right. Shoo. But that was the norm to us back when we were truck racing. Me, Blaney, Chase, like that was the norm to see Kyle Busch come down, Brad come down, Joey, Harvick come down and run.
Uh-huh.
And so I was used to it. Like it was fine. But when you beat him, I beat Kyle Busch. I beat Larson. I beat Larson at Homestead, right? And so
you're right. That does add to almost like a resume, even without a win.
For sure.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So it is an ego boost for you guys.
Yeah, it's an ego boost for sure. But I think the stat is correct. I'm kind of tooting my own horn here.
I don't think it is going to be.
I think
okay.
Larson. There's only one guy to beat Larson at Homestead in a truck race,
and that's you.
And that's me.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll have to check that.
You need to fact check.
No,
that.
we're going to check that.
If it's wrong, cut this out.
No, this stays in. But then we'll put like the little Snopes thing down on the bottom.
Yeah.
You had mentioned.
Sorry. Back to this point. Real quick.
Go ahead.
I think it's the fans' perception. Oh, we don't want to see them run. I guarantee you, there is no truck or Xfinity guy that is bitching or complaining that a Cup guy is running every race.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
I think it's good too for the fans that, and I mentioned it in the show before he came on, that just can't afford to get there on Sunday, right? And so they don't get to see their favorite driver, but then all of a sudden you can pull off a Friday or a Saturday.
Yeah. Well, like Larson's comments at Bristol when he was like, "My goal here is to embarrass the Xfinity."
That's right. Yeah.
And there is some merit to that. He's
there
like,
should be some locker room
I
material.
want to show these guys how hard you can drive these cars.
Yeah.
And it's like, like at Michigan truck race, 2014, I'm a little tight, and then I have a big moment, and Kyle Busch walks up, "Hey, you get loose right here?" I'm like, "Yeah." He's like, "Me too, stay in the gas."
Boom.
That was it. That was the game changer of our season, and I'm like, oh, figured it out. Went on to win the next race. We were leading that race by like 13 seconds, and we ran out of fuel. That one still strikes a nerve.
Yeah.
But you have those moments where they're in the field and they have these experiences, and you have those questions. They'll tell you.
Are you the type of psychopath who remembers losses more than wins?
100%.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can tell that right
100%.
away. You're like, oh, yeah, Brickyard 400. He would have just said, yeah, Brickyard was cool. You would have talked about this Michigan race for a half hour if I'd let you. Because it seems like that. And that's what a competitor does.
Because Kyle Busch ran out of fuel too.
Oh, good.
We were the same.
Thank God.
We were the same truck because I raced for him.
Oh, right.
So he had the same issue. You would think that his team truck would have the same issue.
Yeah.
Oh, we did.
Okay. Yeah.
He was 12 seconds ahead of me when he ran out, and then I was 13 seconds ahead of the next guy. And yeah, we both ran out.
Where did you learn to lose a tire and then be able to position yourself in front of that tire, in back of you, and almost it looked like that tire was on a goddamn string behind
staged,
you and
bro.
it came through.
It
was one of those things.
It's
That's going to be in the video game,
A little bit
I
like
think.
Cars 3 and like Toe Mater driving in reverse.
Something like that, yeah.
So I had, throughout that whole transition, I went back and seen the video of it. I drove right through the 67 box.
Yes.
Like had no idea the 67 was even there.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that looks bad. So I go and stop in the 19. I'm like, all right, I'm stopped. Boom. I'm like, what hit me? And I look in the mirror. I was like, oh, that's fitting.
Thank God.
Cool.
Yeah.
Then the 19 crew, no fault of their own, are like, where's the tire? What are we doing?
Right.
It's like, but get the tire.
Don't you think that that's another thing that's very, very just NASCAR? If I was to step onto, at the end of a round, if I was to go into the wrong corner, somebody would pull the stool right out from under me.
Yeah.
You know, if you walked into the wrong dugout, you'd get sunflower seeds thrown at you.
Yeah.
I saw that 19 team figure out what they needed to do, and they worked.
They did.
They went right to work. It wasn't like they were slow playing to try and get it up there.
No.
And I think that that's one of the things that's very, very important for NASCAR, for people who don't know NASCAR to know. It's pretty friendly as much as it is competitive.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you have to, I don't know, do something for Chase? Maybe send him some steaks or something for Chase Briscoe for using his box? Because you didn't have a right to it. And you know what I mean? Like maybe.
Yeah, no, we're getting too deep. Yeah.
It is too much. That's where it runs out.
Yeah, that's where it runs
out. So the
out.
charity in NASCAR is for everybody else except for Bubba Wallace. He could jump into somebody else's box. You know what I mean? The whole deal and be like, no, I don't want to DoorDash him, a dozen McNuggets or something like that.
No, we're not going that deep. Thanks for your service, pal. See you next weekend.
When you see this, the schedule come out, and how do you feel about it? Are you excited? I like the fact that we went to we're one less road course. I think that's kind of cool that we're back to 5 road courses.
We took Chicago away.
Took Chicago away.
But we added San Diego.
But we took Mexico too away.
Oh, in Mexico.
Yeah, so Mexico and Chicago gone and adding San Diego.
Yep.
And they spread them out a lot more.
They did.
Except for the Sonoma San Diego thing, which obviously is better for the cruise because of the West Coast thing.
Yep.
So looking at this new schedule, everyone is complaining about Dover having the All-Star race, and we'll see what they can do with that. Like that's remains to be seen. But do you think that there's a chance for people like, man, I was just getting a start to like Chicago. They're going to forget about Chicago once they see how beautiful San Diego is. Isn't that one of those ones where you think that's going to get eclipsed?
Yeah, I think so. But I think it's also going to get eclipsed when they see the racing at Chicagoland.
Chicagoland's better racing. Right.
I sucked there, so I'm like, what are we doing?
Right.
I never could figure out my way there in an Xfinity car. And then the Cup car was awful there. So Blaney, like a couple weeks ago, he was like, man, this car is going to be awesome at Chicagoland. And I'm like, it's going to be so rough. Like, what are you talking about?
Right.
We're going to find out. But, I think going to San Diego is really, really cool. Tapping in back to that Southern California market is big.
We need that.
We do. We had Fontana. Rest in peace.
Right.
What an incredible racetrack. Now we're going to San Diego. So that'll be big. Logistics of back-to-back Sonoma, San Diego is nice. Have you seen how beautiful Sonoma is in like the spring?
I will tell you right now, one of the worst.
It's not even the same country.
One of the worst races I've been to, pure racing, as far from a spectator standpoint.
Yeah.
One of the most boring races I've been to was when Daniel won at Sonoma.
Okay.
I think there was one.
That's when I blew up like lap 7.
No, there's. Was it?
Yeah.
So, did you lose a tire? I'm not being an asshole.
No, I blew up.
You blew up. I don't think there was like
maybe
one
lap
actual
4.
caution. Okay. Yes, we got that out of the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I will tell you by far, and we're lucky enough to go to maybe like 12 races a year, sometimes more.
Yeah.
That was the best weekend I've ever had with NASCAR. We went out there and NASCAR.
I thought you said the worst one.
The worst race, the best weekend.
Oh, okay.
So I'm
Gotcha.
saying now that if people can conceptually say, I haven't been to a NASCAR race, I haven't been to the West Coast.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to go out there for a week and watch Sonoma and San Diego.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, that is a
Yeah.
trip for the ages.
Yeah,
So,
I agree
and
with
it's
that.
one of those ones that I'm dying to get back to with Sonoma.
Yeah.
We should be out in San Diego and see if I can parlay that thing into a 2-weeker.
That would be cool.
What do you think about Mexico not being? I had a good experience in Mexico until I didn't. I had a bad ice cube.
Oh, no.
And I wound up shitting my spleen. The last 24 hours, I couldn't leave the room. Bubba, I'm telling you right now, it was bad.
Really?
Like they had a hose next to my toilet. I didn't know what it was for, and then I found out what it was for. Like I had a cuck chair in there, so I could sort of like turn around real quick when I needed to throw up. It was awful. It was awful.
Man,
so for me on the way out. So I have fond memories of the race, fond memories of the St. Regis Hotel, fond memories of all the tacos. I have very, very dangerous memories of that time I almost died in Mexico on that last day. So I say the best view of Mexico is through a fucking rear view mirror as far as I'm concerned. So how do you feel about it now?
I from the time I would say travel. Oh, well, my travel experience down there was phenomenal. We took a 737. It was what, 2 seats, 4 seats, and then 2 or 252, whatever. Yeah. Man, it was only 60 people on the flight, so we all had our own row. It's nice.
That's
now
nice.
Going back, it was 350 people on a 300-person flight. Yeah. And so that was a little bad.
Did I see you at dinner? Did you go to dinner at the Animal?
Yes.
Yeah, we saw that.
Right. Yeah.
Very, very good place.
Very good place. We went twice.
Bad ice cube.
See,
it was the fucking bad ice cube.
I had ice cubes too, and
I was also eating tacos off of a hubcap. I was going nuts about it too.
My whole experience in Mexico City, 10 out of 10, loved it, ready to go back.
Yeah, and I got to be honest with you, I was 10 out of 10 until I wasn't. You know what I mean? I got to be a little bit more.
For sure.
And that's what if we ever go to war with Mexico, just infiltrate our ice cubes. You will bring us to our knees in absolutely no time. Not that I want to go to war with Mexico.
Yeah, but on your point about Dover, I am curious on that. I am looking at, I think we had a pretty good turnout for this past points race at Dover. Like good points, or a good fan turnout. But it hasn't always produced the best racing. And so I'm wondering if this is like, okay, if we're going to take points away, what can we do to spice it up? Add some flair to it. It's going to be hard. Like Denny had a good point. Like you need the rubber to get laid down to move around. Right. Hard to do that when you're doing 50-lap stage segments. Yeah. So I'm kind of going to take a step back. I'm locked into into the All-Star race, by the way.
That's
not in the open. Not in the open.
I hear you.
And looking at it from that vantage point, like, okay, what is the end goal for Dover? Because there's got to be something.
Right. Okay.
There's got to be something
further.
Yes.
No lights. We'll be running that in a day. The All-Star race in a day.
Yeah, they said most likely at during the day. No shit.
Yeah.
We're going to moonlight the thing?
Exactly.
There's no lights.
Yeah. Just strap some flashlights to all the pit boxes.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to it too. I'm also, like, when I look I've been to Phoenix, lucky enough to go to Phoenix for the finals past 3 years. And I love the facility. I think Phoenix is a great facility.
Amanda's favorite track to go to and be a fan.
Weather's great, the whole deal. They had one thing where they brought me up on a crane. They have a picnic table they were suspending.
Had to be a big ass crane.
Yeah, it was a big crane. And we were just drinking wine and like eating meats and cheeses up there. It was very, very cool. They have a lot of cool gimmicks. But
I've seen that. I've seen it. Yep.
Terrifying, by the way.
Yeah.
It just
Scared
slowly,
of heights?
yeah, a little bit. And
Big tree
when
fall
it
hard.
turns, yes, exactly. And by the way, Spider came over and like touched the harness as if it was a joke. You know what I mean? It's one of those things where you can't even react. So Phoenix has always been good, and I love the barn.
Yep.
When Blaney won, all of a sudden he came in. We drank a beer together. It's very, very cool. I think I shotgunned a beer with Larson's wife once. When he had one there. But I'm pumped for fucking Miami, and everyone's got to be so pumped about running the championship there because it does shake up the Penske dominance, as far as that goes. So talk to me about Miami. Is that one of those ones that you have circled too? Every driver does?
Yeah.
Seems universal.
Yeah, for sure. I think when you ask what favorite tracks, drivers like, Homestead is normally in the top 3 to 5 for sure. Definitely in my top 5. I'm excited to go there. We ran 3rd there this year. So, it's just such a fun racetrack. Like there's no other track like it. I mean, going in the first lap, you feel like Superman. Then lap 2, you're like, holy shit, I'm ready for tires. It's just crazy how it changes. The dynamic of it all is just wild. So I think, and I hope that it produces one of the best championship races that we've seen in a long time. Because I feel like Phoenix has run its course. And it'll be nice to see it all come together for next year. So I'm pleased with the schedule. Another off weekend, so we do appreciate that. The schedule is demanding and grueling as it is. So
as a dad, it's good too.
For sure.
This 28-week stretch,
it's brutal.
Somebody's got to be there, and it's not you.
Amanda's the trooper.
Yeah,
Amanda's the hero for sure. So appreciate her. But they actually get to come to majority of the races, so it's nice.
Yeah, it's different though. Like because she can't hand a baby with a diaper to you as soon as you get out of the car. It's just different. So I'm really glad for you guys because I didn't realize it. One of the first interviews that I had done also was William Byron. Yep. The first season that we did this, and he's like, Large, wait till the middle of the summer.
Was he in diapers?
Yes, he was. Exactly. Just building Legos. I love William, but he was like, Large, wait till you get to the middle of the summer. This is a long fucking season.
It's a long one.
He didn't curse though.
So
it was one of those things. And
he
I
lost
see
his mind in Richmond. Did you hear that radio?
Yes, I'd seen that.
I was like, who is this? It was like one of those. He's like, he got the green.
Proud.
He got the green flag to do it, and he's like, I'm gonna use it all up right here.
Going into Daytona, I'm going to let you out of here. I appreciate your time as always.
Yeah, it's like way overdue.
Way over.
That's all right.
Yeah, way over the limit. Break down Daytona for me. Going in there as a playoff driver who's locked in. Do you go balls to the walls? Like, what do you do here? Because playoff points still, you certainly want them. But how do you figure out Daytona?
Man, it honestly is nice. Like, I've never locked myself in the regular season. This last month, whatever it's been since Indy has been just...
You're a chill guy.
Holy cow.
Better than mushrooms.
Oh, my God. Like, it's incredible to be in this spot, and I'm definitely not taking it for granted. It's like, hey, talking to self, hey, dumbass, do this for the 500. Like, I thought Willie B was washed up until he won Iowa.
Right.
But he's locked in for 6 months.
Like,
holy cow, there's no stress. So I think for me, it's just like, let's just go in there and run our own race. You want to call some Omaha Blue 42 crazy wild strategy. Let's do it.
Fuck it.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't, right?
Like, we're in.
You think Zilich should be running this, breaking a collarbone and then coming back 2 weeks later and running specifically in Daytona, where that kid is kind of the future of the sport as well. Like, he's one of those things. I don't want him doing it. I see Natalie Decker just had a baby 6 months ago. It's a Herculean effort to get into a car 6 months later. I was trying to judge if it was bigger what she was doing or it was bigger what Zilich was doing. By the way, his new nickname might be the Fall Guy. I don't know if that's going to stick or not.
Oh, no.
But I will tell you, you can't necessarily answer that question. But what Zilich is doing, I think, is dumber. But you're a competitor, so you have to do it.
Racer's gonna race.
Racer's got to race.
Racer's gonna race, and man, you have to stay. It's not a relevant thing, but seat time doesn't matter if it's Daytona or if it's a go-kart track out behind your house. Although you don't have enough land for that, so
flex.
Yes.
You don't know.
Yeah,
you don't know me. I got some shit going on.
But racers are gonna race, man. So if he's feeling it and he's up to it, like, go ahead, do it.
Okay.
Yeah. shit happens.
I love the
if it
kid,
goes
so
south.
I'm just afraid from it. I don't want him to do something that might affect him down the line.
Yep.
Listen, as we do this show every week, and when you go on your runs where you're looking good, because you had what do you grade your season this year?
Yeah, it's definitely the progress reports have just been pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to step it up in these areas. But as of late, man, the progress report has been. I give it a solid A-.
Yeah.
Like it's been. Take away the pit stop at Richmond, man, we were lights out there.
I know.
And like from Friday to Saturday, like Friday.
Did you lead 123 laps?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And after Friday, I was like, good thing we're locked into playoffs because we're going to be dog shit.
And that's another thing.
And then we took the lead.
Doesn't know how many laps he led.
No.
Knows exactly what happened when the tire came off. Like that's the whole thing that you're going to take away from you. We almost didn't talk about how you were being a dominant force at that track before you weren't. That was like Mexico City for you.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes. Everything was going good.
Your tire fell off the same way that my ass fell out. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, my tire was your ice cube.
I'm the king of metaphors here. Bubba, we've been very, very happy just watching this season with you, and I can't wait to see what you do in the playoffs. Obviously, nothing but the best of luck, and I really appreciate your time while you're here in New York.
Sir.
This is Bubba Wallace, and we're coming right back to you on Rubbin is Racing. Thanks,
Sweet.
Bubba. That was perfect. All right, so that was Bubba Wallace, and we put a nice little cap on what had happened last week, and it brings us into what's going on this week. We have no trucks this week. They pick back up next week at Darlington. Xfinity's Friday night with the Wawa 250 at 7:30 p.m. on the CW. You know I like to mention all the familiar faces. Eric Amarola is back for the first time since he was molested by Austin Hill at Indy. Alpha Prime is bringing back their super speedway ringer, this 51-year-old guy named Cesar Baccarella. Cesar finished 13th at Daytona in February. Look up Cesar Baccarella. He looks like a fucking guy you want to have a glass of wine with. Raja Karuth is moving up from trucks. He's wheeling the number 32 for Jordan Anderson. And Justin Haley is coming down from Cup in the 11 for Kaulig. Natalie Decker will be in the 92 with a specially modified baby seat for the stunningly beautiful baby she had in February. That's not true, but Natalie Becker had a baby in February, and she's now running in Daytona this weekend. And most importantly, our Lord and Savior, Connor Zilich, is supposed to be back in there. He's slated to drive the number 88 for JR Motorsports following his collarbone injury at Watkins Glen, which I don't agree with. I just don't think that if you're coming off a collarbone injury, that your first outing from that just 2 weeks later is Daytona. As a matter of fact, anywhere but Daytona is what I would recommend, but they don't listen to me. So what's more impressive, Natalie having a kid 6 months ago and hopping back in the car, or Connor Zilich jumping back in the car 2 weeks after breaking his collarbone?
Zilich.
I'm going to go Natalie Decker as a supporter of women. I think,
Boom. Yeah,
that's a pretty important and special feat for her. Connor Zilich, yeah, sure. I mean, that's cool. I'm of the opinion Connor will not actually race this weekend. I think he might
jump out.
It might qualify or jump out shortly thereafter. Yeah.
Okay.
And they'll switch out the driver. Maybe that's what I can't see him. I agree with you, Large. I just can't see him running the full race as he's healing. But yeah, honestly, good for both of them. Zilich seemingly not letting this bother him too bad, and then Natalie Decker back. So it's a tough question.
Yeah. What do you guys think? Zilich or Decker? What's more impressive to you?
I'm a collarbone survivor. I broke my collarbone once.
I did not know that. I didn't mean to bring it up so flippantly. I'm hoping you're okay. Go ahead.
Yeah. I'm recovering now, but it's taken me years.
Yeah.
But that's a injury that, like, a lot of your driving muscles are centered around that. He broke it.
Yeah.
Well, fracture broke, same thing.
They said they put a plate and 2 pins in.
He should not be driving.
He shouldn't be driving.
I thought it was going to be a season-ending injury.
It should be. I mean, I get it, but this kid knows where he's going. I mean, he's all but guaranteed a Cup ride.
But should that be reason why he just packs it up and rests?
That's what I'm saying. Just fucking stop. Just stop.
I just don't I wouldn't think he'd have the ability to drive a car.
You got to just be soft, Quigs. Maybe your body.
I am soft, but I think I was out of leisurely driving a car for like 3-4 weeks.
Damn.
When SVG said he broke his and raced a week later.
Fuck him.
Back in
Fuck that guy.
And
Why'd you bring that up?
Zilish did say, I don't know if y'all saw on his interview on Door Bumper Clear, but he said his first words on the stretcher were, everybody's going to think I'm a pussy. So maybe he's trying to prove everybody wrong. But it's really impressive. I don't know if it's the smartest decision, but it's pretty impressive. But I'm Team Natalie. Shout out Natalie. I'm always going to support her.
Although my wife has had 3 kids and she drove herself home from the hospital every time just because I didn't feel like driving. What a fucking hardo. But congratulations to them both. I think it's going to be fucking pretty cool. Scale of 1 to 10. How's this for Zilich's new nickname? I'm going to go first to you, Quigs. It's the Fall Guy because he fell off the fucking roof. I don't know how I feel about that.
Maybe somebody else should give their rating first.
Yeah,
I didn't give it to you. No, it's not mine. It's not mine.
Okay.
Please, I don't give a fuck about it at all. The Fall Guy.
It's tough to criticize it because I don't have a better suggestion, but I don't think that's it. We could do better than that.
Okay. So Moon?
Yeah, I'm with Spider. That's not good, but I can't think of anything better. But there's got to be something better out there.
It'll come naturally.
Definitely.
But don't you think NASCAR?
The zillionaire,
maybe, yeah. The zillionaire.
Yeah.
Maybe that's it.
Zillish, delish. No, I don't know. But if like Barstool was to make a shirt with, just the silhouette of a guy crunched on the ground like he's like Zilich was, falling off a car, and it says the Fall Guy, I would buy that. Like I would buy that sort of commemoratively. But yeah, I don't think that thing's going to stick. Let's see what we got this weekend. We got the Coke Zero Sugar 400 on Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. on NBC. Will be the 157th time the NASCAR Cup Series will race at Daytona. After this week's race, NBC's coverage shifts back to USA all the way until October 19th, when it shifts back to NBC for the final 3 races at Dega, Nashville, and Phoenix. So we got NBC. We'll go back to USA until the final 3 races. BJ McLeod will drive the 78 for Live Fast, and Austin Hill, in his 3rd Cup event of the season, will wield the 33 for RCR. Harrison Burton, who is now contending for a NASCAR Xfinity Series championship, by the way, I think he's 11th in points, doesn't have a win, but he's 11th in points, is the defending Summer Daytona NASCAR Cup Series winner, and with his back-to-back Daytona 500 trophies, Byron has won 2 of the last 3 races at Daytona and the summer race back in 2020. So Byron's been good here. Catch the action on TV or feel the thrill in person. Secure your NASCAR seat today at NASCAR.com and feel the excitement. I put in a couple of paint schemes. I don't think we need to go over them, but I will tell you, casino schemes are ugly. They got the Motto Casino on the 77, I think looks fucking terrible. And the Chumba Casino one, I think also looks fucking terrible on the 35. I think they're consistently bad, particularly when you look down and you see what Suarez is driving. That number 99 Coca-Cola car this week, that thing is fucking sharp. And I also love the Dollar Tree, the Richard Petty SDP 43 shout out. I think that's a beauty too. I also like the number 1 for some reason. Ross is running a cool purple scheme. But a bunch of stuff to look out for. And let's make some bets. So let's go picking the tires. It's brought to you by DraftKings. The rivalries, the marching bands, the upsets. Saturdays just got way more fun. College football is back. Think you know the game? Put your college football knowledge to the test with DraftKings Sportsbook and turn your picks into big payouts. From live betting during the game to rivalry week odds boosts and so much more. DraftKings Sportsbook has everything you need to stay in the action from kickoff to the final whistle. Whether you're betting on your go-to team or making moves mid-game as the momentum shifts, Saturdays are yours to own with DraftKings Sportsbook. And here's something special for first-timers. New customers bet $5 and get $200 in bonus bets instantly. So don't download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use the code Rubbin. That's code Rubbin for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets instantly when you bet just $5. In partnership with DraftKings Sportsbook, the crown is yours. This is a good race for us, Spider. We could spread a lot of money around on this one. For people who don't know, we just read a ad for a DraftKings Sportsbook for college football, but I'm telling you, go to DraftKings Sportsbook and bet on the Daytona 500 because the odds are great on super speedways, and this one is no different. So looking this stuff over, does anyone have any picks that they want to throw out there right now?
I've got one.
Uh-oh.
Actually, I've got 3.
Okay.
And I think they're pretty fair numbers. Granted, this is a super speedway, a lot of variables going on. But for these drivers, I think this is pretty fair. The first guy I'm going to go with as my main play is Denny Hamlin. Denny is 20-1. I feel like he's always in contention at Daytona, and I expect him to be fast this weekend. So 20-1 is a very fair price for Denny, a track where he's been wildly successful in the past. And then Ryan Preece. I'm taking Ryan Preece for a little sprinkle, 25-1, as well as Josh Berry, who's 30-1. I think both of these guys are in that range of not the best drivers in the field, not the best equipment, but in striking distance and still priced reasonably. So this would be a good opportunity for drivers like them, in my opinion, to potentially steal a win. So
give me them again.
Josh Berry, Ryan Preece, Denny Hamlin, all outright picks. Those are my picks this week.
Quiggs or Moon, you want to go or do you want me?
I'll go.
Go ahead.
I got a strategy which is probably an awful strategy, but picking guys who haven't won and are not really locked in on points. So kind of getting rid of Reddick and Bowman, who also, if somebody else wins.
Are you fucking kidding me? That's exactly what I have fucking written down. There are a bunch of non-playoff drivers who have won previously at Daytona. You going for people who've won before at Daytona or no?
No, I'm going with guys that are in that
Okay, go ahead.
15, 16.
Yeah.
So I'm going Kyle Busch, Ty Gibbs, Carson Hocevar, Brad Keselowski.
Okay.
All just straight to win. Busch is 1,500, Keselowski's plus 1,200, and Hocevar plus 3,500, Gibbs plus 4,000.
Okay, that's only
maybe,
two of mine.
Maybe they'll just be fighting for their lives out there and win it.
Moon, you got anything?
Yeah, so I've got a top 10 parlay for Cup with Blaney, Busher, and McDowell. Xfinity, Justin Haley's running an Xfinity race at Daytona, so I had to put something on him. And then for chaos reasons, I'll probably add some stuff later on, but I'm going to take Cody Ware to win outright in the Cup race just because I want to see that. I want to see something like that happen so bad. Any underdog's cool. Somebody who could really expose the playoffs would be even better. One to watch, Casey Mears. Apparently, he's coming out of retirement, and that car is going to have a leased motor and a real pit crew. So the MBM car might be fast this weekend too.
Okay. I looked at the stat that Kyle Larson is still looking for his first top 5 finish at Daytona after 22 starts. So Kyle Larson is not very good at this track. I never get an opportunity to bet Kyle Larson top 5 with plus money, so I was at an impasse. What do? I'm going to take Kyle Larson in a top 5 for plus 220. That never fucking happens. So I'm going to take it, and he'll probably fucking crash in lap 2. Also, coming along with what Quiggs was saying, I had every driver who's a non-playoff driver who have won previously at Daytona. Reddick and Bowman haven't won that. They're not in that group. So I'll take out the 2 that you put in, Kyle Busch and Keselowski, with yours. I'm going to put a little dough on Ricky. I'm put a little dough on Eric Jones, Justin Haley, Michael McDowell, and Chris Buescher. I am fucking spreading them out because I'm getting such good odds on all those guys that I think I'm still be plus money. So that's a big fucking ticket. Kyle Larson top 5, which makes no sense. Ricky, Jones, Haley, McDowell, and Buescher all to win because they've won there before and they're not playoff drivers right now.
I like that strategy.
Yeah, right? We're kind of in line.
Yeah, but I like your strategy better.
Okay.
There's a little more thought behind it.
And the thing is, anyone can fucking win. So I urge you guys to head over to DraftKings. Maybe put off the whole college football thing just for a little bit. Urge you guys to go over to DraftKings. Just throw something extremely responsible because everyone's a long shot this weekend. It's a ton of fucking fun to watch when you got a little bit of meat in the game. Spider, you're going to be throwing out a pick 6. Spider throws out a pick 6 typically on his social media platform. I think we get some forwards and retweets from Rubbin is Racing, so you should be able to see that. Are you doing that again this week, Spider?
Yeah, I will. We cashed last week, so for those unaware, it's basically you just pick higher or lower, whether it be finishing position, guy to finish better than, let's say, 6.5, and you make a little parlay out of them, and then it's basically a fantasy game, and it's all brought to you by DraftKings by Pick 6. So It's a great app, and if you wager just $5 in your first lineup, you get $50 in credits. So I implore everyone to check out the link in my Twitter bio and send me your lineups. I'm going to have some this weekend that I'll be tweeting out. But we've been hot in the NASCAR Pick 6 world, so hopefully we can win some more money this weekend.
It's a good week for
Pick 6
unders.
Yeah.
Because just big guys that should finish high up will be crashed out early.
Yep.
All right, that's it for us. Did I miss anything? Anything else we need to cover?
I think that's all. Thanks so much.
Thank you to Bubba. I mean, when it comes into town, to make sure he stops by either Chicago office or the New York office is very nice of him and his team. So we appreciate that. And we will talk to you guys next week on Rubbin is Racing.
Peace.
Peace.